Now we're going to talk about this freaking virtual debate. All right. So if you haven't heard, Biden's team said, well, since he's got COVID, we should not do the debates anymore in person. We should do them virtually so we can cheat easier. I didn't say that out loud, but you know, it was in parentheses. You gotta look closely. But if you do look closely, you can see it. It's like, oh, you want to use a teleprompter and have people help you because you can't handle Trump. Or actually, there's another theory that I was thinking about. All right. They probably hopped him up with all sorts of drugs. He had an IV in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
He's got those holes in his hand that they have different pictures of seeing. And I don't think he can handle it. I don't think he would be able to handle 2 more debates with whatever cocktail that he was on. Like, I think he's getting old and frail, and his doctors are probably like, you can't handle that again. Like, we need to figure out a way to not have you debate Trump again. Your heart pressure or your blood pressure was up. those whatever, I don't know what cocktail it was on, but he was fairly coherent. I was actually surprised he didn't gaffe as much as I expected him to. But then I thought about it. I was like, actually, maybe because he was probably hopped up on stuff because he denied wanting to do a drug test, you know? So,
well, also, if they do a virtual debate, he's not going to have to stand the whole time.
Good
I'm
point.
sure that's a factor too.
Yeah. And they sat last night. That was weird to me.
They always sit at the vice presidential debate, I think. I believe that's like a tradition. I think so. I could be wrong.
That's so weird. Like, why? Stand at a podium. It's presidential. You're not running to be like the secretary of the president. You're supposed to be the president if something happens to the president.
Well, we know Kamala's running to be the president anyway.
Yeah. The Harris administration with Joe Biden. I was like, what? Did she really just say the quiet part out loud? And
she did.
She did say that. That scares me a little bit because I do feel like that's what she wants. She is authoritarian to the max too. Scary in a scary way. Like,
never give power to people who want power. Ever, ever, ever.
Oh, that's why I want Tim to run. Because I think he does it. It's the last thing he wants to do.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea.
But he doesn't want the power though. You know? I don't know. Well, now I really want to know why.
I want Mikey Harlow to run. I keep trying to convince him.
That would be awesome.
I'm like, no Republicans are running for your district anyway. Why don't you just do it? He's like, no. You know how many dick pics will come out? Hi, Mikey.
Hi, Mikey. Also, sorry, Mikey. Sorry for that. Ooh, that was spicy. Anyway, that is hilarious. So check this out. So this is from Epic Times. This is Trump says he won't take part. He won't even do it. He's like, I'm not going to do it. There's no way. Let's read about it. The Commission on the Presidential Debates, the CPD, announced on October 8th that the second debate between President Donald Trump and the Democratic nominee Joe Biden would be held virtually, with the president saying he would not take part in a virtual debate. I don't blame him at all. The
nonpartisan.
Excuse me.
They didn't even talk to the Trump campaign before they did this. P.S.
I'm sorry, I'm going to do this in quotes. The Nonpartisan Commission said the debate scheduled for October 15th would take the form of a town meeting in which the candidates would take part remotely from separate locations, with the aim being to, this is in quotes, to protect the health and safety of all involved.
Oh, come on.
Thank you. That's exactly
man.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Come on. Yeah. To quote Biden, come on, man. Oh. The debate moderator, Steve Scully of C-SPAN Networks, as well as town meeting participants, will be on location at the Adrian Arsht Center for Performing Arts in Miami, Florida. You know what should happen, right?
What?
Trump should just go. He should just show up. He should go to the place, be like, no, I'll show up. I'm gonna do the debates how they should be. I'll be there.
I would be in favor of that, but I think that Trump just needs to go on Joe Rogan. A challenge was issued to both of them. Trump has accepted. Biden has not. Trump just needs to go on Joe Rogan. This would be like, and I've been tweeting about this all day, and people are like, Karlyn, Joe Rogan doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to be involved. I'm like, BS.
It was his idea.
It was his idea. Secondly, like, is Joe Rogan really going to turn down Donald Trump if Trump says, I want? No, not in a million years.
Joe Rogan would be like, yes. It would be the biggest Joe Rogan episode ever.
Yeah.
And he's got big episodes and big people that come on his show. but that would be it. That's what everybody wants to see. They don't even want to see Biden and in the room. They don't care about Biden. They want to see Trump and Joe Rogan go at it, because that would be an awesome interview. And if Biden was in the room, that would be the biggest debate ever. It would have the most ratings. It would probably be the biggest video ever on YouTube. No joke. That thing would be every single person across the world would watch that. Who's more famous than Donald Trump?
Joe Rogan.
No, I don't think so.
No. Who do you think?
No one. Nobody. No? That's who I think. Nobody. You go around the world, you can, do you know who Joe Rogan is? You might find 50% or 60, I don't know, 40% of the people might know who he is, but you think like, you know who Donald Trump is?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about your circle, think about globally.
Yeah, No, it's a fair point.
Famous person on the planet, definitely Trump or Trumpkin coming this Halloween. Yeah, I mean, you think about that. That's the debate we want. We don't want a virtual debate. That's basically ensuring everybody knows, or excuse me, maybe not knows per se, but everyone suspects and believes that Biden needs a teleprompter. Yes. Reading his notes during the first debate, he kept looking down, looking at whatever he had written there. Everyone claims he had some wired device. He could have proven that he wasn't on drugs. He could have proven that he didn't have any wires on him, and he chose not to.
Yeah.
Why? Why can't you prove that? Why can't you be like, yeah, look, I've got nothing in my ears, done. And here, take my blood. You can see what's in my blood. You're running for president, Joe Biden. And your opponent calls you out, said, I'll happily take a drug test myself. I'll happily do it. I'll happily, you can happily check me for wires because I suspect you to have wires on it. If you don't just instantly go, fine, check me. You have a wire on you and you're hopped up on drugs, period.
Exactly.
That's it.
And here's the thing, because I see people in the chat saying this, and a lot of people said this to me on Twitter today. They were like, Karlyn, if he goes on Joe Rogan, Spotify's just going to edit it. Well, just take Joe Rogan out. Don't make it a don't put it on his podcast. Just put it, make it a special event on a network or something. That way they, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could handle this.
Well, have him be the moderator.
Like Fox News.
It doesn't have to be on Spotify.
Exactly.
No, I think you're right. I think it should be more along the lines of hosting at the White House with no affiliate allowed to have it over the other. But it's free.
Just live stream it.
Live stream it from the White House account. And everyone can tap into the feed. Anyone can do it. And everyone would. It would literally be the biggest thing. Everybody would be watching that. It would be like the biggest MMA fight, the biggest pay-per-view event. Like
all
watching
put together.
Yeah, watching Joe Biden versus Donald Trump with Joe Rogan in the middle of them all. Yes, please, Joe, if you're watching me, please press it a little bit more because people want this. I want it. Joe Rogan is like the voice of, like a major chunk of age groups of Americans. If you think about it, that's the group that we need voting, that we need to be political. So if Joe Rogan went in there and was like, I'm going to handle this. I'm going to do this. And we're going to have an awesome debate. I believe it 100%.
Oh, me too. And you know what? Extend the offer to both of them. Be fair and see who shows up. And if Trump shows up and if Joe Biden doesn't show up, well, guess what? There's going to be an empty podium and Trump and Joe Rogan will have a conversation.
Yep. And probably rip Biden apart.
Yes.
Yeah. It would be the best case scenario for Trump because Biden would just look bad because he is scared. I see you, Biden. Every single thing you're doing makes it seem like you're afraid to be honest about your blood work, to be honest about your being fed information. Kamala basically blasted her own self by saying, great segue, because she admitted that she knew what the next question was. It's ridiculous. So she's in your administration, Biden. Why wouldn't we assume that you have the notes too? You know what's going to happen. And if you know what's going to be talked about, then you're definitely going to have a teleprompter prepping you for all different talking points and people behind the camera. Watch his eyes in this virtual debate. It's not going to happen.
He's also afraid to admit that he wants to pack the Supreme Court. Did an interview today where he was asked flat out, and his answer was, "Oh, well, you'll know after the election." Like, no, Biden, no, that is not how this works.
That's a yes.
Yes, when you are running for president, your only job is to tell people what your positions are. That's
right.
it. You don't get to say, "No, my position is secret." Can you imagine if Trump did that?
Yeah, right. Good point. Oh, I'll tell you after the election. Wait a minute. What?
What?
Orange man bad. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. He's not going to tell us what his plans are. It's like, no. Oh, so excuse me. That's Biden. You'll know after the election. We're supposed to be voting for you. You're supposed to tell the public what your views are supposed to be so we can choose how to vote.
Exactly.
That's how it works, Biden. What? Oh, people have already voted.
Yeah.
A couple million people have already voted.
That's why I never vote early. Never for
never. I want to see the debates.
Yeah.
Granted, I could vote early this year because I know who I'm voting
for. Oh yeah, I'm voting for Trump, but
right, exactly.
I'm going in person out of principle.
Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man. I'm gonna live stream my vote. I'm very excited about November 3rd. I am.